All right, what's going on today? More Topeak items that I have been using for a few years now. I'll probably start sharing a few more of them. Like I said, good product, has variety of uses for me. So this is the handlebar bag. These are the instructions to installing it. I have two bags here, for example. I have a smaller one. I forgot how big this one is, but it's a smaller one. And then I have a larger one. This one is an actual extra. It's a larger one, but it's an extra because it has a side pockets that can fit pretty much like my iPhone 14 size or so. I'm not really doing measurements right now, but you know, they both come in the mount style that I have been using. So it's this style right here. They're pretty much the same. You can see the three notches right there. Three. Yeah. So I already kind of have it all sorted out already. The thing I like about the Topeak handlebar bag that I'll give a review ahead of time because I've been using it for many years. I have another bike with it that's had it for many years. It's all plastic. This thing's like pretty much indestructible. Meaning like it just won't break. They got this extra cable over here to help secure your load or your bag if you have heavy load. Like these might be, let's just say 5 pounds, for example. This thing can, let's just imagine it's mounted onto the bike. It can actually sag your bag. But using this cable tension deal, it's a little quirky or weird to explain, but it'll go through like this hole right here, and then it'll go down this hole, and then this bolt down here will hold it, so it creates like a tension. Okay, with the bag on, I like to kind of keep the bag on so I can, and keep the bike on the ground so I can kind of see how the position looks like. So one of the cool thing is that first thing once it's set up is get that cable that you saw earlier. I mean, the instructions already tell you, but you know, this is a special bolt with a hole in here that fits basically the cable. So the cable is more like a shifter cable deal, if you can tell. So if you do have, like, if you do mess up, don't worry, because as long as you have like a shifter cable that's about this length, you can kind of redo it yourself and then basically go on to the next part. So I'm gonna basically pop it over here. All right, so these are 44 centimeter bars, so they do barely clear this bag. I do have another bag that's like a lower model than this one. It's the same size, but it's a lower model, being that it does not have the side pouches on both corners, so it gives it better clearance. In this case, this one does, so you could just imagine my hand kind of like, you know, getting in the way right there. So that way it kind of could be good or bad depending on your bar type. 44 is actually what I'm gonna keep on this bike, and I know some guys like to run, you know, 38, 40. It's pretty much not gonna happen. It can if you use this one. As you can see, it's a smaller bag. Let me show a video of it on. All right, just like that. So this is the smaller one that's on. Obviously, you know, same bar, 44 centimeters. Way more clearance. Also a reason why I like Topeak, because it's more functional. It's more like for the average or real cyclist that actually puts their stuff to use. I did try the bar bag deal. It swings too much. This actually, there's a lot of pro and cons with this. Con, first off, the weight. You get this little extra piece. I didn't weigh it, but it might be maybe 100 grams. No, 150 maybe. But either way, and then whereas a bar bag, you don't have this extra, you know, 150 grams or so. I'm totally fine with that. It keeps it nice and stiff. Clearance, if you're all about clearance. But other than that, it keeps it nice and stiff. It's stable. And also it fits other bags. And I think stability is the main thing. Of course, it can hold weight. I have these other bags, not the top of line ones. I don't want to name them, but just name whatever I have, which is like those burrito roll bags or something, where it just velcros are here, velcros are here, velcros right here, or something like that. But those, in my opinion, they're not that good. I had one where it ripped, so that's kind of my last time that I used that, pretty much, because it ripped. And I was just riding road bike too, so for it to rip, that's kind of not good. So this one, it's always been on my bike. I mean, I'll probably reintroduce my other bike in the future, just to kind of show it off. Other than that, yeah, this is the main thing. I mean, I just got to tighten it down. That's pretty much it. This cable down here is going to act as the anchor support. So when you do add a lot of weight and it does sag, just because it's plastic and this is, you know, carbon, but it's a plastic design, so it's really slippery. It's like a slippery plastic. It doesn't really have any grip, especially being that I have 31.8 centimeter bars, and the spacers that came with this mount are plastic as well, but not needed because it's for more like smaller than 31.8. All right, to give a little better visual, as you can see, this is the shifter cable deal right there. It goes down that special bolt with the hole. You fish it down, you kind of cut the plastic to help protect the stem, like how you see here. Fish it through the hole right across on the other side, on the right side basically. It goes straight through. Of course I didn't tighten it all the way down. Loop it down. If you do miss the hole, don't worry. There's a little cutout on the side right here where you can actually just pull the cable out and give it a little tension, tighten it down. The way I do it is like this, where I put the bag on so I can kind of see my position already, and then that way I can have it. There were a few times in the past where I didn't do this, or I probably didn't put enough weight in it or tighten it up, or however it was, I didn't adjust it right. So if you feel like you want to, just throw some, like, you know, something in here, to like some cans or something, to add some weight, so that way when you tighten it down, like practice like hitting off some curves or something that's gonna give impact, because the last thing you want is to be out there riding and, you know, you hit like a jump or like a little small curve and this thing just drops, you know. Of course it'll drop, but then if this thing's tightened correctly, it'll kind of hold it in place. But just knowing that it's at a different position, you know, a little lower in this case, you know, makes you have to kind of readjust the whole thing anyways. So do all that to kind of fail safe, or kind of, you know, future proof it. For me, I already have an idea of how to use this, so I'm gonna, you know, just kind of conclude with this and run it, probably depending on the ride or commute that I do. This bag will be my standard bag. And one thing as well is to kind of show you guys that I don't have narrow bars. I have 44. These are 44 centimeter bars. Not really a full install, but I will obviously put this to use as usual. And, you know, like I said, I will probably touch base on this one again. It's running the Topeak cage. You know, like I said, everything's kind of Topeak here, with the wolf tooth bands right here. Other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll do some quick touch-ups or anything like that, tips or anything running this bag. That way, you know, people who might want to fall back into bar bags or try bar bags for the first time, they can get started with the right kind of setup. Could be mine or could be something else. That's totally fine. All right, when I'm not using my back loader for its purpose, then I basically throw this on. It's just a little small toolkit. It has a little spoke wrench. Here's a part tool number. This is a tubeless repair kit. It has like some of those, you know, tubeless sticks and all that. This thing it's got, you know, the typical tools that I would need. The only downside to this tool is that it is too short. These are all too short, so I wasn't able to really use it much. Like especially if you're doing like bottle cages or something like that, it'll clear like this, but it's too wide and it's too short, so it makes it pretty hard. Something like this down here, I know I'm kind of going back and forth. Like this Shimano thing right here is way pretty legit. Actually, it's pretty compact, pretty shiny too, but it works pretty good. It's not a ratchet type of wrench, so it doesn't ratchet, but it'll do the job, you know. And yeah, so going back to it, this is the bike, and I'm through on these Rubino Pros. Like I said, bike's super dirty because I haven't cleaned it, washed it or anything. Just been riding it like crazy. So this is the result. You get a nice dirty bike. Other than that, this is the bag. It does look like it's saggy, but it's pretty much up. It's just saggy because I don't know, the design, I guess. It's normally supposed to sit like this, but either way, I kind of know, and I'm okay with that. I have a 64 ounce, pretty much almost 2 liter bottle here for the heat, so it does a good job. It's cheap. You get them at Ross and, you know, Marshalls or something, like where I get it from. On this side, I have the pump, Topeak pump. One thing about through axle, since this is those older bikes with quick release, I was able to convert that. If you guys recall, or if not, I threw a fixation fork on. One thing I never really cleared up was that this old CAADX is not tapered. It's only 1 1/8 top and bottom, so it runs off this fixation fork, which is actually pretty legit. It gives it the side bottle mounts that you see here, or the side mounts, and then it also gives it a 12 millimeter through axle or 15, and I'm running 12 with the holograms because the holograms wheels come in 12, and they are a matching group set to the Canadero brand, and they're pretty legit. Of course, on the back, I converted the 12 to a quick release. Like I said, there's still kind of disc brake rubbing. I don't really have the time to fix it right now, so I'm just gonna do what I can. And besides that, Rubino Pros, I use them. Like I said, the snakeskin tread, I use them because they will be more durable than GP 5000s. Like they'll be able to, like, they're kind of like a 4-season, so they can handle weight, and this is kind of what I have, which is weight, right? So trusting that it's gonna be like what I assume and what I've experienced in the past, because in the past I did use GP 5000s or 4000s actually for with a rack right here or something like that, and it actually busted my rear tire just commuting, you know. So the Rubinos should have a little thicker carcass, you know, to kind of withstand and tolerate the weight. And that should be it for now. Just gonna start riding like this and maybe give a review if I like it, or good and bad.